Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Down to Earth Gardening and Design, and first and foremost, happy fall. I love fall for so many reasons. We have our beautiful foliage that's starting to turn, and of course apple cider and pumpkin carving. But what's most exciting for me are the fall annuals, and first and foremost is the chrysanthemum. So today I'm just going to give you a little video on how to transition your summer containers to fall displays. So I'm backed up here against this beautiful window box, which I do love. I love the location of this. It gets about a half a day of sun over here. It's late afternoon, so right now we're in the shade, but it's a great location for a lot of different options for annuals. I love the window box itself. This box here is vinyl, which makes it a really good option because you can leave it outside all through the winter and it won't crack. And then that way you can also do your winter displays and then transition right into spring, summer, and fall. So we do switch this window box out with each season. This window box also has a water reserve in the bottom, which is really great for consistent watering. Window boxes are really lovely because they do give you kind of an instant curb appeal. And I also really love how from the inside of the house, you can see a sneak peek of the flowers and plants in your box. So I'm just going to walk you through how we're going to switch it out. We're first going to remove the annuals that we're not going to keep. So we are going to keep a few of the plants in this box. I do really like to recycle things. We're going to recycle some soil and we're going to recycle some plants. And then add some new ones, of course. So for my new additions to the window box or the planter, I of course have my yellow chrysanthemum, which has some really nice flowers on it and then a good mix of some tight buds. So we should get a few weeks out of this. I have two of these. And then I also have another favorite which look great with the mums. It's the ornamental kale or cabbage. And I do love this in particular also because it does really well in the cool weather. It loves cool weather. So this one's really beautiful because it has a few flowers on it. So I have two of each because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots here. So I'm going to kind of alternate them. And what I'm going to try to do, my goal here is to leave the Dracaena, this red, which I've used as a thriller in the box to really give it some height. So burgundy red Dracaena. I'm going to try to leave the 3 of them and work around them. And if I can, I am going to try to leave this beautiful licorice plant, which is a spiller or a cascading annual vine. I just really love the silvery gray foliage on it here. So I'm just going to work on this and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this transformation. So in order to make it a little easier for me to remove some of the annuals that we're going to throw in the compost pile, I'm going to cut them down. So I'm just going to trim them pretty close to the base. I'm not thinking they're going to come out if I just pull on them, so I am really going to have to get in here and dig around. So we're just going to start by getting rid of these potato vine, beautiful. And I've got a bucket with me so that I can just carry everything out to the compost. All right, everybody's getting a little haircut today. Then I'm just going to go down the line. Here. We do like our containers really full, so everything has grown together a little bit. So even the plants that I'm keeping, they might end up getting a little bit of a trim, but that's okay. They're pretty resilient. I love that about plants. All right, so now I can really see what's going on in here a little bit better. Okay, so continuing with our project, I am definitely going to leave the Dracaena, but as I'm looking at it, I'm really not sure I'm going to be able to leave the licorice vine. I really do need some nice room for the ornamental kale and the mums, and like I said, I have 4 of them here. So I do need to dig out some of the soil and some of the roots of the old plants that were in here. So materials for what I have for the project is I just have a little bit of fresh topsoil mixed with some compost, some really nice worm castings that I saw in here, which I really get excited about. And of course I have my garden trowel. And I also have, this is a Japanese hori hori knife. So this trowel here can be used for digging in the garden or for weeding. I really love it because it's double-sided here and it's got this little serrated knife edge here. So I'm gonna kind of use this as a knife to dig out some of the roots that are really in there, because this box has been together all summer, so it's pretty established. So it's gonna be a little bit of work to get out the roots. And then I'm gonna throw the plants, the old plants, in the compost pile, and I'm gonna try to recycle some of this soil and add it to my fresh soil. So like I said, I love recycling things, so I'm all about recycling some plants that are still gonna look good in the fall, and then recycling my soil and just souping it up a little bit. See how much easier it was there, like cutting this plant out with the knife edge. Just shaking off some of the soil, and the rest goes in the bucket for the compost. And then I really like to get in here and loosen things up. This is pretty exciting. This is the kind of stuff I get excited about. All right, and so I really got to loosen up what's in here, and then I can take it out and put it in my soil bucket. Because the mums are 8-inch mums. You could get something a little smaller. They sell the mums in all different sizes. I believe at the farm we saw some 4-inch pots, which would also be really great. So I'm recycling it because I am going to have to add some back in. We're making a mess here. There's just no way around it. But that's okay. It's going to be worth it. And then I'm just mixing up what I have. Okay, so now I'm gonna prep the newbies here for the container. So I'm gonna take it right out of the container here. And what you always want to do is, you can see all the fibrous roots here. We call this tickling the roots. you want to break them up a little bit, and that will give them a better chance or an easier chance to spread out and get established. So I'm just kind of taking a little bit off all the way around, just really getting in there, tickling the roots. And I'm recycling some of this soil as well. And then don't forget about the bottom. So you'll notice if plants have been in containers for a longer time, this is even a little bit harder. And you could use the Hori Hori knife just to do a couple of slits around, and it might be a little bit easier if they're really in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this with all 4 plants here. Ooh, I can show this to you so you can see. It's Honey Blush Yellow Chrysanthemum, in case you're interested in the variety. It's a really pretty vibrant yellow. It's really going to pop here. And I'm going to do the same thing here with the kale. This one has not been in the pot as long or isn't as established, so you're just going to have to be a little more careful. And because it's a little fragile, I'm just going to leave it right here in the this trug here to transport it back over to the box. These are a little more moist too. So, hi, they're beautiful. And we're ready to plant them. Okay, ready to plant. And I was able to keep the Dracaena intact and the licorice vine, which I think is going to look really great. So settle them in and make sure that the bases are sunk enough so that the top is flush or even a little bit lower than the rim of the box. So before I bury things, I really do like to just arrange the plants and make sure that I like the layout here. Okay. And then I'm just going to pack a little dirt around this while I'm in here, because I do need to make a little more room for the ornamental kale. All right, pigeon red flowering kale or cabbage. Really pretty. It's got some purple veining here, which I love. Just gonna put that aside. And one more beauty. Love it. So I am making a mess here. I am going to add some of the recycled soil. I'm going to pack it all around these, and then we are going to wash this up. I'm not going to bother washing it yet because I'm not done making my mess here. Okay, here. Let's see. So now I'm just filling it in all around them. And you could use your trowel, or if you had a little cup, I'm just using my hands here and taking big scoops and really packing it down so there's no air pockets there. Make sure that we get behind them and in front, around the sides. I did mix this up quite a bit, my recycled stuff with my fresh compost and topsoil. Okay, so now I'm just cleaning up my mess a little bit here. Can sweep the soil in or out, whatever is easier. And then just while I have the chance, I'm just going to wipe the box down a little bit. So this is the added beauty of having this vinyl box. I mean, look at how easily it cleans up here. And of course, if we're lucky enough to get some more rain, that's going to help us out a little bit with the cleaning and the watering. Okay, so last step in the fall display is embellishing your display. So it does look beautiful like this, but if you want to add some added fun to it, I would say embellish it with some fall decorations or your favorite decorations. So I did bring a few options here just to kind of play with. I grew these little miniature pumpkins in my garden this year. So these are a really nice option. And what I do with these is I really just kind of sit them in there. Definitely want to use these because I grew them. And I really just kind of, spin them around just for fun here. But if you have some of your own pumpkins or gourds in some different fall colors, that would be really pretty. You could also, we picked up a few things, use some plastic gourds or pumpkins just for fun. I'm probably just going to lay them in here, but if they're foam, you can just add them to a floral pick if you want to secure them in there. So that's also an option. I do have these little miniature pumpkins too. These are foam. They would have to go on a pick. This one's still got a little clip on it. Just make sure that the artificial stuff is all waterproof. And then of course I have some little scarecrows that we can kind of bounce around just for some fun here. So I like things looking a little natural. And then last but not least, you could do a bow option. Burlap would look really great. This is just a fun little pop of orange color. And this is mesh, so this will be fine outside. So a little trick that I do for my bows in containers is, believe it or not, I have just a little twig here that I'm going to cut down and use for a pick, just so I can really secure the bow in here. So I'm really just going to tie it around the twig, and then I'm going to snip it down and sink it right here in the box. And I'm just gonna go ahead and center it. And then really just weave. I like to leave some long tails here and just kind of weave it around a little bit. And maybe just secure it here. Don't want to hide my pretty plants here. Okay, I think that's it. I so appreciate you joining me today, and again, happy fall to you all. And if you like the video, please like it or hit subscribe for some future gardening fun.